How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got a little bit new view. We switched out the 14-inch Sport Flare windshield from Clockworks and went to the 9-inch. Hey, can you quiet down? I'm trying to make a vlog here. Jesus. Yeah, we swapped out to the from the 14 to the 9. I needed some more airflow on my end. Today I'm actually going to be talking to you guys as a follow-up to my video about things that I love about Harley Davidson and why you should love them too, and why you should love Harley Davidson motorcycles as well, which I appreciate all you guys giving me a lot of good feedback and a lot of views and a lot of attention on that video. I really enjoyed it. The first video I made on my new computer setup, so it went really well to try and edit and all that. But today I'm actually going to be talking about the flip side of that video. I'm just going to be talking more or less about the things that I wish that I hope that they will change in the future. So I think I'm going to start off this video like I started off the last one. These are solely my opinions, but a lot of my opinion is also shared by a number of other people in the industry, as well as people who own Harley Davidson motorcycles, who have ridden Harleys, or, you know, they generally have an experience with Harley. So I think I want to start off with my biggest complaint with Harleys is price point. You know, I don't know who they are trying to sell too much anymore, because their marketing ideas and their marketing department is really trying to go for guys my age, 24, 25-year-olds, and even those who are just turning 18, who are, you know, right before they go off to college possibly, or before they get their first really big job. You know, they're trying to get that person into motorcycling and all that. But it's weird to say that, like, they aren't priced that way by any means. Wow, I trying to get out into traffic was just, I'm completely lost for where I was supposed to be talking and what I was supposed to be talking about. Oh, price point on Harleys. Yeah, so my camera's getting all messed up. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what the idea is or who they're trying to get to buy some of their bikes. You know, the cheapest option for them from Harley Davidson is, I believe, solely now the Street 750. They used to have the Street 500, but, you know, that didn't sell at all. And I don't know, I think that's in the mid 7s. So it's there with, like, your Yamaha FZ07s, your SV 650s and all that. But at the same time, like, that's not what Harley's known for, and they really haven't marketed that bike very well and really pushed for that bike or anything. If you go to a Harley Davidson dealership, they're going to want to sell you on a Sportster, and the cheapest Sportster is, I believe, the Iron 883, and that's in the mid 8s, so it's another grand more, and it's actually less powerful than the Street 750 and the Street rods. So it's like, we'll take a bigger step, and we're going to go to a Road Glide. So a base Road Glide comes in at around 22 grand. I'll put up the right price here in the video for all the bikes. But at 22 grand, man, for young guys, like, there are some really, really good bikes for 22 grand. And I mean, you're in like high-end Ducati level pricing, you know, not like anniversary editions, but you're talking about like super sport Panigale, you know, level pricing. That, like, the touring bikes are meant to go long distance, and young guys don't have, young guys and girls, I gotta I gotta include everybody, because it's everyone that's at a young age. We don't have the time or the money to go across the country. And yes, driving across the country on a motorcycle is way cheaper than in a car or on an airplane or anything. Well, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. But at the same time, from the perspective of somebody that's wanting a motorcycle, they actually want it more for the capabilities of being able to get around in traffic super easy, being able to get good gas mileage, and all those characteristics of what young people, I think, are looking for in motorcycles, as well as powerful at a good price that doesn't really match Harley in some ways, in a lot of ways actually. Justifying buying a Road Glide that's $22,000 and a payment of $300, $400 a month if you got bad credit, you know, it sucks. That it seems like, well, how the hell can I afford that? So people look at buying a Harley as more or less a second bike. And it's better to buy a Harley as your second bike, or even as a used bike, because it fixes another problem. That is quality materials. For Harleys to maintain the price point that they're at while trying to maintain the margins that they have, they've had to make things cheaper. They're using more plastics and stuff like that. So it pays to buy a bike that's used from somebody who's had a Harley, because they've gotten rid of all the stuff that was cheap on it, and they put on high quality stuff, you know. So the disconnect there is they're still paying, you're still paying 27, almost 30 grand out the door for a Road Glide or a Street Glide Special, but there's nothing really special about it other than it's blacked out and it's got a 114 motor. And the difference between the 107 Milwaukee 8 and the 114 is really going at speeds like this, 80 miles an hour, and if I wanted to roll on the throttle, you know, that's the big difference between the 107 and the 114. The 107's a little bit snappier down low when you're going in and out of traffic or from stoplight to stoplight, because it's got less rotational mass of the motor, you know. It doesn't have to be counterbalanced as hard to maintain its smoothness. So it's just, it's ready to go. It's snappy, like I said. So what difference are you getting between the Road Glide Special and the regular Road Glide, or the Electric Glide and the Street Glide Special? And to be honest, I think that dealerships, Harley Davidson dealerships, are propagated, and you know, a lot of the salesmen are older guys, and they have their own viewpoint of how Harley should go and what Harleys they want to sell. So like the electric live wire, as much as a lot of people hate it, I think it was a smart move on Harley's part to get other people in the door that might be interested in an electric motorcycle, because now it's another option. However, where I think Harley has fucked up with that is they're putting it in the same dealership as people that want to sell Street Glide Specials, Road Glide Specials, CVOs. They want to sell these $40,000, $30,000 baggers, and now you're going to try and have them sell a $30,000 electric bike, which they probably don't like, and they think that it's a heresy on Harley's part to do that. You know, that's not very smart. You know, I think that's where another area where Harley can improve is trying to get more and more younger individuals as their sales department, so that they can push bikes like the Softail Milwaukee 8s, the Sportsters and the Street line, as well as like the new electric line, And now with the Street Fighter, the Bronx, I guess is what it's called now, and the Pan America, get guys that, you know, have an interest in those industries instead of the same old guys that all they really have cared about is the baggers. You know, that's, I think, where Harley is still shooting themselves in the foot, you know. And you look overseas and they sell a ton of small cylinder bikes. I think that they need to develop a line of bikes that are meant for urban areas, these lightweight brawlers. Like, I guess that's why they have the Bronx coming out, because it's really a Street Fighter style bike where it's lightweight but it's powerful. It's meant to get you in and out of traffic and, you know, through alleyways and stuff. Whereas I think the stereotypical thing people who view Harley Davidson think of the traditional cruisers. And I think that's another thing that they need to do better at, is how they market themselves. And I think I've said it before, but like, if everybody who thinks of Harley Davidson thinks of the big baggers like the one I'm on, and they don't start thinking about like Sportsters and the electric bike and that Street Fighter, the Pan America, they don't start thinking of the Harley Davidson brand as this multifaceted motorcycle Goliath, then you're gonna have a hard time staying a Goliath, and you're gonna have companies that like Yamaha and Honda that have always been a thorn in the side of Harley become a dagger in their back rather than just a nuisance, you know. And the same goes for, you know, Indian is fucking killing it as far as making bikes that people want. It's the thing I always come back to, is like, Harley tends to live in their own little world where they have this huge segment of the market, but yet their market is only these kind of bikes. That you get guys that go and test ride like an FZ07 or the FTR, and they're like, I wish Harley had made something like that. And that's what you end up buying as your second motorcycle, or as a spare motorcycle, is because, well, Harley doesn't have that. If Harley had something, I'd probably buy something like that. You know, I hear that quite often, is like, if Harley made something like that, I'd buy it. But I think it's just that there's a segment of disconnect between the heads of Harley and the actual riding community. Brings me to my final point. I think that the CEOs and the executives of Harley Davidson actually need to get back out and ride a fucking motorcycle. Ride their motorcycle and ride other people's motorcycles, and then be like, this was a wake-up call, we need to do better. And I don't think that that's going to happen with the kind of climate that is in Harley Davidson's upper branches. And I just I hope that they get some younger crop of people that have been riding motorcycles now from not only Harley Davidson, but from other manufacturers, and then can bring in those ideas on how to market them and how to change Harley Davidson's image, not just the legacy bike. We want the starter bike, the second bike, the third bike, the fourth bike, on up. We want that guy forever. That's a Sportster right there. That's the kind of mentality that Harley should have, and I hope that they realize sooner or later that that's what they got to come to, and that's how they need to make their bikes from now on, and what bikes they need to make from there on out to make sure that they stay alive and stay afloat. But I'll get off my soapbox now and I'll call it good, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments, what do you not like and what do you want Harley to change in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, like the video, please. It helps a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content. And I'll see you in the next video. Adios.